The Cavaliers getting ready to face the Bulls in Chicago tonight. Cavs with a 15-12 record, 7th in the Eastern Conference. ESPN's national NBA analyst Brian Windhorst on if the Cavs could trade out of the second apron.
It is true that if you do a trade and on the other side of it, you're out of the second apron. In other words, after the transactions happen, you emerge out of the second apron. You can do that type of trade. You would need to take to really do a complex trade to do it. I will say though that there are rules on the other side of the spending, which is that there are teams at the bottom who, if they don't spend a certain amount of money, that they face CBA retribution. So like a team like Brooklyn, for example, I think is only a couple $100,000 below the salary floor. So, if you're looking for something, you're saying there's a chance. It's not impossible. But again, the concept of you constructing a trade where on the other side of it, the Cavs are a better team.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Don't give me a 13-team, 46-player trade that requires 6 whiteboards and 3 people with computer science degrees to show me, to prove that there can be a trade. Yeah. Okay, congratulations, you've done it. Good job, buddy. Good job using the trade machine. Tell me the trade that makes the Cavs better.
Let's welcome in Sam Amico from hoopswire.com, Full Court Cleveland. Sam, I know you kind of wrote an article about the Cavs' ability to make a trade. Take us through. Second apron restricts everything that you can do trade-wise. That's why they're trying to talk about trading out of it. Take us through the article you wrote, though, about Cavs making a trade and how they're limited.
Yeah, we call it the second apron. What it really is a hard salary cap, and you can't maneuver past this cap, and the Cavs are already over that for the most part. So, as Brian said, it's not impossible to get out of that situation, the financial handcuffs or stranglehold that they're in, but it would take a lot of creativity on their part, especially when you're talking about a trade that would move the needle. I think that the Cavs, if they want to get out of that cap, and by all accounts, you do want to get out of that, but, not at the expense of winning a title. And right now they don't look like title contenders, but they still believe that they are. And I just think, sometimes what you're not going to do is make a trade for the sake of a trade or just to get out from underneath that hard cap. So they're very, very much handcuffed in what they can do. But this is the NBA, and, where there's a will, there's a way. And we've seen Kobe Altman have a will before. So if he feels like they're going to want to make a deal, they could, as Brian said, you could rope in 4 or 5 other teams. Or we saw Kevin Durant get traded over the summer. I think it was a 6 or 7 team deal. So I don't think that's a sense of urgency for them right now, but it may be before the February 5th trade deadline.